how many people are there?
I think that already in just a moment, I will count, I will check it. Um, the number of registered people is more than 100.
Uh-huh.
Oh, now it's about half. Mm. The number of registered people is more than 100.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now it's 11 o'clock now here in Japan. So let us start. Okay, I think your speaking speed is always okay. And also,
Okay.
You are not actually the English native, but German. That is quite,
It's better because pronunciation is A, E, O, U, right?
oh, yeah, it's similar to Japanese. It's
Right.
very easy to understand for us. Thank you. So, ladies and gentlemen, so thank you for joining JIVM webinar. Yeah, today I'm very honored to welcome CEO of Fuji Dymatics in the US, Mr. Martin Schopler, to speak about the situation in Inkjet. Its theme is wide-ranging opportunities for inkjet printing and deposition in the new normal. So actually, that now situation is a little bit crazy. If we compare with half a year ago situation, half a year ago. So the situation is completely changed, but still it is interesting to listen what the market leader, Fuji Dymatics CEO, Martin Schopler, view the world. Okay, now may I ask, before that, I would like to introduce a little bit about the relation between me and Martin. Of course, he has been and still is representing Fuji Dymatics. I represented at that time, Konica or Konica Minolta. So in normal sense, we have been a competitors, but actually that I have never thought he was my competitor, but we are co-developing inkjet application and inkjet technology. So we know, at least I respect him a lot as a market leader, and we are slightly different approach, but the goal is always the same to inkjet application and inkjet technology should become more popular, more working for the people, so that the old-fashioned mass production, mass wasting printing industry to change. And also Fuji Dymatics did a very good job, not just staying in normal printing world, also adding micro deposition to make some high-tech parts or even a 3D printing or something. So expanding application of inkjet. So I also respect in that sense. So now, Martin, would you start your speech? Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the very kind words. Ono-san and I know each other since I started in the company, and I always enjoyed listening and learning from Ono-san, because you have a tremendous knowledge. And yes, you are absolutely right. We were cooperating in the marketplace, you could say competition, but we never felt that way, because we were looking at what can make inkjet and digital printing more successful.
Yes, yeah, that was our common goal.
I want to start with just 2 slides about Fujifilm. I will not bore you about Fujifilm. You know, a lot of you are in Japan. Fujifilm has made a very successful conversion from the traditional analog film to basically 4 big areas. You know, the red one, that is Fuji Xerox, now 100% owned by Fujifilm. The split between Xerox has happened.
Yeah.
There is, of course, the photo imaging and the optical device, the cameras. There is a very big group. It's more than $5 billion of healthcare, which is medical instrument and medical equipment, life science, and also now drug development and production.
famous.
I belong into the graphic system group. That is, you see the size. That has two main groups. One is the printers like jet press and wide format graphic printers, and then the Inkjet group, which is printheads and inks. I'm a CEO of Fujifilm Dymatics, which makes printheads. I'm also CEO of the ink companies, but I have a president who runs that day-to-day business.
Ah, okay.
The next slide, I am quite proud. In the center, if you can see my cursor, is 12 key technologies of Hewlett-Packard. You see here bioengineering, you see grain formation, you see nanodispersion, film formation, and you see here MEMS technology. Fujifilm Dymatics in Santa Clara, California, here where I am sitting right now, is the center of excellence for MEMS technology for Fujifilm company. So we are very proud of that. We make with MEMS technology printheads, of course, and we also make ultrasound transducers for Fujifilm, medical transducers as well.
Okay. That's good. Yeah, quite interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we go to this slide, it shows, you probably know I don't know what the Japanese word, the drug, antiviral drug, Avigan, currently in test in Japan and the US for COVID. And we certainly have hopes, but we will see, how this will develop.
I invested in Fujifilm. Yeah, I just invested in Fujifilm, expecting this to become a boom.
Right.
It may take some more time.
Yes. Yeah. I think I was reading the other day about how many vaccines and drugs are in development. Hopefully, many will come through because we may need a cocktail of vaccines at some point. Like it is typical for flu virus, right?
Yeah, that's true. Sorry.
This is my colleague in Dymatics in New Hampshire. During COVID, we made their face masks. We took Fujifilm film, and we also bought clear films, and we made I think 20,000 face shields for hospitals around New Hampshire. So we took the chance when we could not produce printheads. We made a special effort on that.
That's good contribution.
Okay, so now, Ono-san, I want to go 2 slides about the printing industry in the shadow of pandemic.
Yes.
The first one shows 2020, and unfortunately, most of it is still the case. You see, red means the GDP is down by more than 3%, and I think it's still the United States in particular, has negative GDP. What we show here on 2021 is that everybody hopes that COVID will be gone, at least tamed, or whatever word we want to say.
Yeah.
And we can see then go back to the growth area. Yeah. And I will talk a little bit what we see as opportunities. There are changes because of COVID in our markets, but there are also great opportunities, and I want to bring both to your attention.
Okay. Yeah. This is hope. All green.
Right.
This is hope.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So this one, Ono-san, we have in Chicago, we have a Fujifilm graphic group selling printers, and this graphic group went to many companies who do printing. So they basically asked, how is the situation with COVID during COVID with your printing? And you see on the left, they say 83% of respondents reported 40% decline in production. That's print production, right? And 54% applied to paycheck protection plan. That was the PPE to pay. In Europe, you have short work. I don't know what you have in Japan. In the United States, we call it furlough, and so that means short-term unemployment, which we had in this industry. So 54%, and government was helping, and also a plan to reduce stuff. And you see here on the markets, specialty markets was down, sign and display down. Packaging mixed picture, because some packaging actually sees a nice gain during COVID, because online sales requires different type. And then you see commercial is office and home. That is really in a difficult situation.
Disaster.
But return to normal, customers expressed optimism. To go normal conditions, 72% reporting return to normal before October. That is the hope, And many companies said they will get their employees back, Okay.
Yeah.
Now I have 7 different market segments. And I first want to go through what we currently see in each of these segments, the kind of changes. Later on, I will go into more detail onto some of these market segments of what's happening.
Okay. Yeah.
So if we look at document printing, it is, of course, work from home has a big impact. Normally, like in big cities, Silicon Valley, before COVID was stop and go traffic, and now I can drive fast to my office, right? Because people are working from home.
Yeah.
So that of course means people are not printing in the office.
Copying, printing, no.
Right, office printing is down. Promotion print is also down. When you go to supermarket, you have to wear a mask and you have to look which way you have to walk. You have no time to look for advertisement. So no store has advertisement. So that is a wide format graphic business, also front of shelf kind of things, right? Direct mail has continued to be good. So we certainly see that. When we look at sign and graphic, very sharp decline of promotional production. Same thing, because a lot of sign and graphic industry has moved into the advertisement of not only billboards, but stand-up advertisement on front of shelf. And many PSPs turn to production of protective gear just to make some living. And supplies and support has been interrupted. We at Dymatics, we have no interruption of subparts. We buy parts worldwide from Japan, from China, from Europe. We have no interruption on getting parts, making print heads.
Okay.
Packaging, I have a separate slide later, and I want to go into detail. But I see the biggest changes in the future in packaging in the various, and I will talk a little bit about that later on. The growth in e-commerce boosted, many packaging segments. I have a friend who has a recycling company, and he said, they have 75% more recycling material coming, or garbage coming, because people are getting now packages while they normally go to a supermarket store and they take care of it. So it's a big increase, and that means different type of packages needed, opportunities to print on packages, even corrugated packages, detail information. I'll get a little bit into that,
Actually, that I
And then,
see, I know this situation because this is my role to throw away the packaging material on a cleanup day once a week. This is my
right,
role, so I know a lot of
right,
that kind of
exactly,
recycling
exactly.
paper is okay.
And then the last one, I will also talk a little bit about the supply chain changes. This is food, medical, and areas availability. So I see definitely in packaging a change.
Mm.
Textile market, I will also talk separate. We see there also changes. There was a massive slowdown, even shutdown of Chinese textile
Yeah,
screen printing.
yeah.
Secondary impact is brand decline, local consumer. Now you see in the United States, you see everybody walking on the street, but
Hmm.
they walk in sports clothes, not in going out nice dresses, fashion dresses.
Mm.
So
Mm.
the industry has seen a decline on that, and that means changes are necessary for that.
Yeah.
And major brands are struggling to emerge with a new plan. So
Hmm.
I think there is a need on how to change the industry, textile industry. T-shirt industry is going very well, and we
Yeah,
are of course selling our printheads into big T-shirt manufacturers.
yeah, of course, yes. Hmm.
Decorative construction, that is ceramic, that is printing on wood, panels, and decoration. That the ceramic market, as you know, Onosan, has declined in 2018
Yeah, yeah,
because it has seen 100% digital.
yeah,
Ceramic industry is 100% inkjet digital.
yeah. Already
So
done.
now,
Yeah. Hmm.
yes, already done conversion. So now it's a replacement of older machines with newer machines.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
so we see stable market and slowly recovering. Right now in May and June, we actually saw some uptick both from Europe, Italy and Spain, and also
Hmm.
from China on the ceramic market, and also
Mm.
on the wood panel market.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Hmm.
I have a special slide also on printed electronics, what we see in the future.
Mm.
But basically a slowdown because R&D engineers, like in Dymatics, we have very limited engineers in the office
Hmm.
because we want only the production people. And
Yeah.
then when production people have a break, they have to come out and they spread in the building. So
Mm.
we cannot have 100% of engineers and office people inside the office.
Hmm.
When you're an R&D engineer, you can do some from home, but you need a laboratory and test. And so there is overall a slowdown we see in
Hmm.
this.
Okay.
And I will also talk about additive manufacturing. This is actually a growth and a boost, also because of fast requirements. And on COVID, you cannot visit customer, you cannot do the testing and CNC. So it's easier to make a computer program, send it to, and you get the additive manufacturing 3D printed parts back.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here is what we target in terms of core markets. We certainly have a wide range of ink chemistries. We do
Yeah.
both. We
Mm.
make pigments and dispersions.
Hmm.
We make inks formulation and ink production. We have a UV factory in south of England, and we have a water-based ink factory with 20 million liter in US on the East
Mm.
Coast. Of course, we make printheads. We have, we look at proven reliability, and we very strongly believe that the MEMS technology is the future. We
Hmm.
demonstrate this with our Samba technology, and I will talk also on a new product coming out. So we definitely see a good future in terms of our capability of Fujifilm from the ink side to the printhead side to the system side, kind
Mm.
of a vertically integrated company.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. You have basically everything. Mm.
Right.
Mm.
So this one shows the outside. You see the markets, which I just went through. You see here the coating, you see the ink, you see the substrate. Substrate being all kind of different material, and of course MEMS technology and printhead. And so this is the ecosystem of Fujifilm in the inkjet world. And we're very proud because when Fujifilm started and they acquired Sericol, you remember, and Misia, and then they acquired Spectra, which is now Dramatics. And we have now a very good, I call it ecosystem, to supply into these various markets.
Okay.
So when now I have a few slides on the special market segments and what we see. The document printing is undergoing a significant digital transformation in terms of from conventional printing. Even if amount of paper is declining, the analog to digital is going relatively fast. And with that transformation, we see momentum which can overtake also EP technology in production environments. We also in document printing and in some other areas, we see the imprinting as a digital part of an analog pre-printed.
Oh yeah.
So like transactional
transaction
printing. You do the analog, in high volume,
basic,
and then you do digitization, right?
With the numbers and some,
Right, right.
Yeah.
And we see certainly print service providers, they are looking for solutions that meet their needs. We see that with, for example, with the jet press, very successful, where short runs with very special, whether it's a book cover or book printing or specialty printing, different papers moving relatively fast. That's what is smaller run lots is what's driving this market to digital and to new type of technologies required, like 1200 by 1200 with our Samba, which is in a jet press, or for label printer, our OEM customers using Samba, and they want best print quality, still offset print quality with digital and small lot size capability. Right?
Yeah, that's clear.
This is a sign and display industry. We see, in general, this is a mature market segment. In our case, it's a single-digit growth per year, even before COVID. With COVID, currently, this is a market segment which has been declining because you don't need, if you don't take a bus, you don't need a bus sign. If you don't go to the supermarket or to the mall, you don't need big advertisement. So it's currently a difficult situation. We see this changing, this market changing. Certainly on a worldwide basis, in Europe, United States, Japan has been UV since a long time. In China was solvent. Now in China, it's moving very fast to UV as well. Right. And the print service providers, they are looking for complete solutions in terms of print quality, in reliability, cost, of course, TCO, and they want automation. They don't want too many people on the job, and so we certainly see that. We also see 5-meter roll devices becoming more and more, and then a hybrid and flatbed, is also what we see in terms of what the market requires from that. Single pass and shuttle is coexisting in this market still. Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now on the packaging market.
Packaging, oh yeah.
So let's maybe start with the label. Label has the highest % of digital with inkjet. Digital is probably on label is probably more than 50% already. There is electrophotography and inkjet coexisting.
Yes.
But we see more and more demand for very good, precise quality. And companies like Durst, they use Samba and they make very high precision label printers, very successful in the market.
Yeah, Tau 300, Tau.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
They moved from SAR to Dymatics and had a big success. In terms of labels, I think there is probably a future request print direct onto shape. Onto bottle or print onto product direct on the product.
Skipping the labels. Yeah.
Right. Instead of label, and it will probably coexist for a while because not a special beer bottle is very difficult, right? The shape and you need special technology. But I see label and the direct to product being an interesting market. In terms of corrugated, we see a very high interest, especially also from China, to print high quality. I believe, especially now with online purchasing, when I get my Amazon package, in the future I will see advertisement on it, and I have to look at it because even if it's corrugated package, because I have to open it.
Yeah. Yes.
So there is a good opportunity for companies like Amazon to actually make money by printing special interest, one-on-one, lot size one, for your interest, for my interest, to actually go into that. So I see a big interest in that market. Today, corrugated is done by converter companies. Right?
Converting company.
And the question is, will somebody like Amazon, which is now a massive user of corrugated packages, how will they do the lot size one printing onto these corrugated packages? That's an interesting market move, which we are watching.
Okay.
E-commerce will definitely change to some extent the packaging. Now, in terms of flex packaging, there is a lot of effort, a lot of challenges on the inks, because you want perfect quality, you want anti-scratch, you want food grade type of inks.
Yeah.
And so Fujifilm is developing there, quite strongly to get into this market. And then folding carton, of course, that is also something where, like on flex pack and folding cartons, the pharmaceutical industry in Europe, they need 26 languages. So they cannot, on a little pill box, they cannot print 26 packages. So they need smaller lot sizes and variable. So that's one market. Additional information. I have seen products almost print made for you, for the different categories. And with online sales, you can do a lot of print for you because you know exactly who is getting this product. When it's shipped. So what's also happening, Ono-san, in the packaging market is the supply chain will move, the printing and the variable printing towards the end of the supply chain.
Okay.
That is very difficult for a converter to do that, because they make 10 million packages and print on the same. So we are watching very carefully how these companies are moving the variable printing towards the end of the supply chain.
Oh, it's I see it is a kind of last minute customization.
Exactly. And that can be customization printing. That can be adding RFID code or special barcode individualization. And so that's an interesting thing we are watching in the marketplace.
So interesting.
Textile, we basically categorize two different markets. One is the T-shirt type market. That is with
PTG.
COVID, it's going very well. In addition to T-shirt, there's a new trend to print on polyester material for swimsuits, sports clothes, and like football and soccer or ice hockey tricots. And Kornit in Israel has just announced major breakthrough printing very, very good qualities on polyester, not only on cotton T-shirt. So that's the direct to garment industry. The fabric has been, with companies like Reggiani, MS, and SPG. They have made both scanning printer and also single pass, and of course Epson is with the smaller printers in the market. There is still a split between, is it shuttle or is it single pass? We see in China, which is interesting, we see companies who take our Sambas and they make single pass printers for textile. For fabric, and they produce millions of meters and sell it to H&M, Uniqlo, and these companies who want 50 fashion cycles per year. Right? Right? So we see that. We also see home decor that IKEA and these companies, they are trying now to bring in the print capability closer to where the customer is, and basically print for you when you go into a store, Home Depot or others where you can select. It's then print for you like book printing is today already. So digitization is certainly coming strong. In terms of the inks, they're very, very inexpensive dye-based inks. The pigment is what is coming in terms of development. Pigment is the new area, right?
Yeah, Martin.
Yes,
I believe. Yes, I think last minute customization, not just for the print on the box, but for the textile as well. So
absolutely.
I think, actually, that it has been not possible by the conventional style, because they have a big factory, not just printing, but for steaming and washing. But with pigment and dye sublimation, I think it is still possible, because it could be printed on the and fixed by some heat roller. I think that is much easier to realize the last minute customization, right?
Absolutely right. Yes, absolutely right. And we see that two trends happening in China, which is of course a big textile country. The environmental constraints of analog printing with a lot of waste of water. The government does not want that anymore.
Of course,
so they force either you go digital or you get out of the country. And going digital, they need of course the cost has to be reasonable. And so then they build now their own printers, which is very interesting and quite successful. Okay. In terms of decorative, this is a big industry. You see down here a ceramic printer, of course, in a clean room. The challenge on ceramic printing is, of course, high temperature, high humidity, very much dust, and and you have to print sand, basically, right? Ink is sand. So we have a very high market share because we developed specialty products. That's our Starfire family. We have 400 DPI and now 600 DPI It's quite successful, not only in Europe and but also in China.
China.
We
Yeah.
also see the decor laminate, which is printing on wood panels and others for direct board printing, is slowly emerging as an alternative to conventional technologies.
Mm-hmm.
And we certainly see that manufacturers in both environments, they want to go digital printing because reduction in waste. The reason why ceramic has gone 100% digital is print quality is so high and no waste and no inventory.
Yeah.
Because with analog printing, if you want to buy the same tile as a replacement, you cannot get it because it's printed on analog and it has a different color.
Right.
So
Right.
and production efficiency is now you can basically print 1.8 meter wide, 3 meter long tiles, and then they cut them into small
Piece,
tiles.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's a very high efficient productivity,
Yeah. Yeah.
and complete new product designs. I have seen a very fantastic type of looks like perfect granite. Some software people they Photoshop a perfect granite stone into a digital, and then you can print it, and your whole wall will look like it's a natural stone.
Okay. Yeah, that's improving. Yeah, everything is improving. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, printed electronic. We see the following opportunity. Display printing. Display printing is OLED and quantum dots. Quantum dots are similar to OLED or LEDs. They can either emit light or they can separate light. So they can be a light emitter or they can be a color filter.
Okay.
And if you look at today, when you buy an OLED TV, it is the mobile phone is done with vacuum deposition technology. But a big 60-inch TV, the vacuum deposition unit would cost $1 billion.
Yeah.
So they move to inkjet. There are basically there is the group in Japan called JOLED.
JOLED.
JOLED, and we are in the other part with Samsung, Chinese, Taiwanese, and LG to print OLED, to print quantum dots, and a mixture of that. That's one area. The second one is PC board. PC board, flex board in particular, for like our Samba has 2 flex boards, or many products in a mobile phone. There are many flex boards. Apple is now requiring that every single component in their product has lot size 1. That means individual identification.
Okay.
So if there is any production problem, they can immediately see, okay, we have not 100 million which we have to, units which we have to return, but maybe 10,000, because on this day there was a problem, and they can identify and they can send you an email and say, please send your mobile phone, we need to make some change. And this requires digital printing, because if every single unit is different, you cannot do screen printing. So Konica Minolta is big in this market, and we are coming now with the Samba and the next product because it needs finer pitch and higher DPI. So we are entering this market as well. The third element is EMI shield. You know what that is? When you have electronic circuits like a mobile phone, inside there are a lot of active circuits, and you have to shield the RF part from the digital part. And that is done today with metal cap, and that's a very handmade type of thing. So we are working. We are working on EMI shielding with electronic inks to basically cover this, and so there is no EMI radiation coming out. Right. So that's another. And then of course, in the future, we all see that there is wearables and
textile. Yeah, we are
smart
talking about that.
textile and smart packaging, basically to add functional areas of electronic into that, you know, right? For product identification, anti-fraud, anti-copy, these type of things. Okay.
Yeah.
The 3D or additive manufacturing basically has 3 different markets. We are only in 2. There is the polymer deposition, which is Inkjet with Inkjet in Israel. And we are in the jet binding, the metal binding and metal casting. Metal binding is like General Electric or Desktop Metal companies who print with Inkjet the binder onto the metal paste, and the binder will determine the structure of the product later, right? The metal cast is a Chinese, mainly Chinese business. For engine and you know, these type of structures. So you take sand and you print with aggressive chemicals the binder, and so you make the in German we say Guss.
Guss, yeah.
Guss,
right?
Guss, right?
Yeah.
And cast, right? Right, exactly. Yeah. And so in China there are 10,000 factories who do that the traditional way. And we're working with them with it's a very aggressive chemical to have that binder, and so we're developing a special printhead to be very robust for these aggressive chemicals and go into this market. So it's very interesting.
Yeah,
we see certainly that the growth of the 3D printing market is going rapidly up. Before COVID, but even during and after COVID, we see a very high demand for this type.
Yeah, this has been also in Japan, has been long time talk, was proposed by certain organization, but now it's coming really, yeah.
Yeah.
And the reason why I know that German word, because the place I was living in, small town Lüneburg, is the name of the street was Glockengießerstraße.
Right, exactly, right. And the advantage of using digital with Inkjet is like a normal cast would take 2 weeks, and it can be down to a few hours. So they can make very fast changes to it.
Yeah. Okay.
So this slide I just leave. This is basically showing these variable markets and what printheads we suggest from our side. A little bit advertisement. I don't need to go through. I also want to show that we do integrated solutions. That's print engines, print bars, and print engines to basically provide complete solutions. Not only selling printheads, you know.
I love this wording, industrial inkjet minibar system. That's different meaning.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Very good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of MEMS, we are very proud. Of course, Big Epson has a very big MEMS fab and spend a lot of money. We are a much smaller company, but Fujifilm, when they bought us, has given us a lot of investment money to build our MEMS fab, and you know, we're happy to invite guests to see what we do. It is from very important, from concept design, from mathematical studying of the modeling to concept design to prototyping and full production. We do all of this in-house.
Okay.
I think one of our competitor in UK has just dropped the MEMS, stopped the MEMS
Right.
activities because they
Right.
did not have in-house capability, and it's
Uh-huh.
very difficult to if you cannot do in-house development on that.
Yeah, they depend on
So
some outsource, right?
exactly, and
Mm.
for us, we do all the processes from photolithographic. We take a raw wafer and we come out with a printhead. That gives us high resolution, very small features. It gives
Mm-hmm.
us high volume manufacturing, and it's all
Mm-hmm.
the same
Mm-hmm.
because it's photolithographic process like semiconductor process. It gives us scalability. We just this year we moved from 6-inch or 150 millimeter to 200 millimeter, 8-inch.
Mm-hmm.
So we double the capacity on the same type of fab,
Mm.
environment. And we also know that the silicon and the coating we do with it is chemically compatible with a broad range of functional fluids.
Yeah, I think Martin, as far as
Yeah,
I remember, that of course Rome is not built in one day. So I think you have once tried called M class. Maybe
right, right.
before you joined Spectra or Dymatics.
No, it was during the time. Yeah,
During the time.
yeah.
So I think
Right,
you learned from the past by
right.
your own experience. At that,
Exactly.
M class was not necessarily too much successful, but I think
No,
you learned a lot, and plus additional investment from Fuji, and you get through this product.
right. Absolutely
Congratulations.
right.
Mm,
Absolutely right. We also make these cartridges with our
mm,
DMP printer, which we have maybe thousands of printers and all the research institutes use that. So that's another way of trying new fluids with a very inexpensive cartridge,
mm-hmm,
right?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
In terms of products, you see here the Samba, and everybody knows it.
Mm,
This year we will come out with a new product, GMA.
mm-hmm,
Samba is 1200 DPI, and GMA will have two products, 600 and 300 DPI.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
And it basically follows the Samba technology, where we look at different nozzle shapes. We
mm-hmm,
can make round nozzle, we can make curved nozzles based on what the inks need. We make our own in-house solid 3 micrometer sputtered thin film. We call it sputtered PCT. So we don't do salt gel, which other companies do. We use a deposition of a 3 micron film, solid film, that allows basically no depolarization
mm,
and high temperature capability of the process.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
We look for uniformity now with single pass. As you see on the Samba, you can put the Samba all in one row, right?
Yeah, yeah,
You can stitch it.
like
With
1
that,
meters.
you get into complications, of course, that inside the printhead and printhead to printhead, the uniformity has to be perfect,
Right, right.
right? And so we're
Mm-hmm.
working on that. Also, in terms of non-wetting coating, that is outside.
Yeah.
You want a non-wetting, so there is not the ink sticking onto the nozzle blade,
Mm-hmm.
and we make special non-wetting coating process for that. We have
Okay.
the highest jetting frequency. The resonance frequency for our printhead is like 500 kilohertz. So we have a lot of frequency space available to do multiple drops and get precise print technology.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we can make, of course, different drop size from 1 picoliter to 30 picoliter with MEMS, no problem.
Okay. So
Okay.
GMA head is also from the same factory in West Coast, Santa Clara,
It's
right?
the same MEMS factory,
Yeah.
and assembly we will do in East Coast,
Ah, okay. Mm-hmm.
because we have more test capability, and but the chip we make in Santa Clara in the MEMS fab, we test it with capacitive and electrical, and then assembly of the printhead we do in New Hampshire and testing.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
because of cost. Silicon Valley is a little bit more expensive.
Ah, okay.
Than,
Okay.
right.
Yeah, I see. Good.
In terms of technology integration, we work with the complete integration, not only printhead and print bars, the inks, the image optimization, which we have also from the jet press capable, and integration and systems. So we look for single pass complete solutions to be print engine to be plugged on end customer equipment. So where customer basically says, I cannot use a printer, I need a print engine to plug on my conveyor belt or my production system. We provide those systems. So we do that, with the customers. And this one is an example where you see a customer in gray, customer media transportation. You see here in this case 4 print bars as the print engine with head mount. Sorry, and you see here down there, I think you got already the presentation from the my colleague about jet press components.
Yeah, Fukui-san, yes.
Right, and I think he had the same slide showing that.
Yeah.
So that is what we also do, because we have the capability, printheads, inks, scanning, inline scanning, print bar, and we provide complete solutions for that. This is my my last slide.
Summary. Yeah.
Pandemic, new normal. We all have to look now what is changing and what is going to change. Industrial inkjet applications are on a path for growth, and we will continue to accelerate. Developing robust and reliability solutions is what we take as a daily challenge.
Yeah.
And then, of course, inkjet related technologies provide the enablement for us to support industry, service providers, and consumer needs. And Fujifilm groups and OEM partners will continue to drive this with technology in inkjet and technology in ink.
Okay. Okay.
That is the end of my presentation.
Okay, thank you. Oh, just a small funny question. Never stop is a kind of symbol slogan for the company.
Yes, that's a overall Fujifilm. Mr. Komori created this, and the entire company never stopped. Just
Never
move
stop. Okay.
with this was created before COVID. With COVID, it's even better meaning, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to slow down with COVID, but don't stop, right? Keep moving, right?
Yeah. That reminds me, for where it's immer, look where it's nimmer.
Exactly, right.
Sorry for this joke. Okay. Martin, I think as always, it's an excellent presentation, and we are encouraged. Just one question, yeah, if I may, that COVID is currently stop or slow down the economical activities overall. But from your point of view, does it accelerate certain sector of inkjet or maybe digitalization? What is major 3 sectors from your point of view, or even your gut feeling, that COVID works positively to accelerate the that step for the future? Is there any comments from you?
The biggest acceleration I see in packaging, because COVID has accelerated it started before, but it accelerated the online shopping. And online shopping requires a complete different supply chain. The package will look different, the products will be different. And so in packaging, with corrugated, with label, with flexible packaging, I see a major move. In textile, I also see major changes, because people are now they want to to try certain things on textile and then maybe send it back, or there are a lot of new companies who do this. Even Levi's with the jeans made for you, and that means you need basically a very flexible print technology, which only Inkjet can do in textile. And the third one is 3D printing, where we clearly see a major move and acceleration of 3D printing, because things go faster. You can stay in your office. You send out a design diagram, and next day you get your parts. So we clearly see supply chain, smaller lot sizes, individualization in the print industry will drive very fast towards digital.
Okay, okay. I think this is a kind of already well discussed theme, that small volume and on demand, and yeah. And COVID is actually not
accelerating it.
Accelerating it, not
Yes,
just on
very
the
fast
negative side.
acceleration. Yes.
Okay, okay.
So you are right. You're absolutely right. It's not a new theme, but the acceleration factor I see coming very fast into it, and the willingness of the customers to invest into this rather than a new offset machine. We certainly see that, and when I talk to Heidelberg or others, it's verified. Right? So
okay.
it's not a new theme, but it's accelerating.
Yeah, okay, that's interesting, and very positive. So actually, that the audience today, or even the leader of my mail magazine, is more or less involved in Inkjet. So, dear people, there are no reason to be pessimistic. That, as Martin said, is COVID just not only the negative side, but also working positively to push forward the digital technology. That is the message, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. And I still have some questions, but I think now the time is more or less limited. I will send you this question to you later, and maybe you or maybe your staff can reply.
I will be happy to work with my staff and send you answers on that.
Okay. So, dear Martin, so thank you very much. Dankeschön for your nice presentation as always. And maybe last word from you, please.
Yeah, I'm very honored to be invited to this. I think you have done a fantastic job. I read as much as time I can find. I read your weekly and announcements. But in this COVID, everybody was thinking, okay, we have no physical exhibitions. We cannot have conferences where we go. And here comes Ono-san, not only talking about it, but actually doing very, very successful. So my sincere congratulations. This is it demonstrates, the master, in you who knows what to do.
And
you can execute it. So my thank you to invite me, but also congratulations of creating such a conference.
Oh, thank you very much, Martin. It's a very nice and warm word. Okay, that we keep in touch from time to time, and I want to invite you again for your new vision and some new improvement or innovation about Fujifilm Dymatics. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you again. Bye bye.
Thank
keep
you.
in touch.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks. Have a nice evening.
Okay.
Thank you. Bye bye.